Welcome to another Q&A call and strategy session. Let's just do a quick tech check here. I want to make sure we're streaming and appearing where we're supposed to. There we go. Terrific. For those of you joining me, just give me a thumbs up to confirm that you can see and hear me. That'd be great. Let's see here. I think we're good. Think we're good. All right, terrific. Welcome to, I think this is going to be our last Q&A office hour and strategy call for this month for sure. We're going to have 2 more in August. So keep your eyes open for an email for that. If you are new to our community, welcome. If you are joining us just for this Q&A office hour, and strategy call, welcome to you as well. We are streaming in 3 places today. We are on LinkedIn, which is kind of new for us. So if you're joining us there, welcome. If you are on YouTube, we're there too. And then, of course, we're streaming into our private Facebook group, Scale Your Nutrition Practice. This Q&A strategy call focuses on supporting our community in maximizing the use of their digital meal planner, as well as their content that they have access to through our membership. So today we're going to start with a conversation about content marketing and the principles of content marketing. Let's just define what content marketing is first. Content marketing is when you create materials. So as a nutrition professional, it could really be anything from a social media post to an ebook, a handout, a course. That's all considered content, right? That delivers information that is super valuable to your ideal client. When you're delivering valuable content, you're going to attract clients to you, right? So it's not like direct marketing. I'm just going to bring up the banner here. There's a difference between direct marketing and content marketing. And these ideas are not unique to me. These ideas come from the Content Marketing Institute. So we're going to be covering the principles for content marketing next. But the differentiation between direct marketing and content marketing is important to understand, because direct marketing is to make a sale, and content marketing is to create so much value that you are attracting your ideal client so that you can take them on a journey with more content that leads them to working with you, which is ultimately the sale, right? As nutrition professionals, we are sometimes a little uncomfortable with the whole sales speak, and that's normal. I want you to think about serving as selling, right? The best way for you to serve your client is through your paid programming, right? For them to pay with you. So you eventually do want that exchange of value, but you don't want your marketing efforts to focus on that, right? So we're not going to be talking about direct marketing today. We're going to be talking about content marketing, because more and more, even big brands, are using it as a means to take clients, their ideal clients, on a journey. And then ultimately the clients will have enough knowledge about the brand, enough trust, they'll know, like, and trust them, that they will then convert to a paying client, right? So we focus on content marketing with everything that we do. So all of the content that our members have access to, as well as the digital meal planner, it all falls under the umbrella of nutrition content marketing. So here are the key principles. There are 6 of them. So the first principle of content marketing is identifying the needs of your ideal customer avatar. For those of you, I'm just going to check on comments here. So if you, hi, Paula, welcome. If you want to join the conversation, you can just drop a comment and I'll see that here. It is important that all of your content be focused on your ideal customer avatar. If you have not crafted a definition, like literally have written it down, that's something that you need to do. Who are you speaking to? Our members who are now enrolled in the Nutrition Content Academy have the benefit of going through this exercise with me. So in session 1, we covered who are you talking to, right? And what are you talking to them about? It's really, really important, because if you don't craft content that identifies the needs of your ideal customer avatar, it's going to fall flat, right? So it has to be very, very targeted. And that could be something like your niche. So if you're focused on a particular nutrition prescription with your clients and your community, all of your content is going to want to revolve around that. You want to stay away from being generalizable. You really want it to be super targeted with all the content that you deliver. So number 1, your content needs to identify your ideal customer avatar and their needs. Number 2, you need to be consistent. The hardest part about being consistent is having content created for you, but not content created for you. Like the hardest part is creating the content yourself, right? Our members, you guys in my Facebook group know that you have access to all of this content. So being consistent is so much easier because you already have access to the content. The hardest part about being consistent is really planning it out. Again, our students who are in the academy, which you will have access to in about 4 weeks when it goes evergreen, but our students right now have the benefit of walking through this together in creating a social media strategy and a plan so that they can be consistent. You can't wake up every morning and say, what kind of a content am I going to create today? You have to have a plan for not only your social media, but for all of the content that you have in your practice. And again, all of that content needs to speak back to principle number 1, which it has to speak to the needs of your ideal customer avatar, or it's going to fall flat. So being consistent is important. Number 3, infuse your brand essence in imagery and in tone. For those of you who are creating content from scratch, definitely something to think about as you create content. One of the best ways to do this is to create templates that are consistent with your brand essence. So you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time you're building an ebook or a handout or, again, a social media post. Now, under social media, there are many different forms of content. Just for example, feed videos, carousels, reels, right? But if you create templates for each one of those posts, it makes it easier to be consistent, number 2, and number 3, to infuse your brand essence into everything that you do. So very important on imagery. And then also tone. When you identify your ideal customer, you need to match that with who you are. So if your ideal customer is, my ideal customer is a young nutrition professional, one of them is a young nutrition professional just starting out in private practice. So when I'm on Reels and I'm creating content to attract that ideal client, I feel very comfortable using trending audio. It's not always trending audio that I understand. So I turn to my teenagers. I'm like, hey, is this appropriate or not? But doing trending reels will attract my ideal client. So think about, where your ideal client is and what tone you're going to set in your content. Are you going, when I say tone, so think about emotions. Are you enthusiastic? Are you confident? Are you goofy? Do you like to have fun? Right. So, I have a good sense of humor. I like to think I have a good sense of humor. So that is infused in my content. I use quite a bit of emojis to be more casual. And so again, that is very consistent with the content that I put out. So in addition to identifying your ideal customer, also identifying their needs, think about how you are communicating everything with your tone. And then your imagery. Imagery is things like colors, backgrounds, fonts, and of course, your logo is included in imagery. Oh, Michelle, welcome. Thank you. Hi, Jen. Good to see you here. So number 3, infuse your brand essence into everything that you do. Number 4, everything that you do has to be niche specific. Now, if you don't have a niche, one of the best ways to identify your niche is go back to kind of step 1, where you identify an ideal client that you might want to work with and what their needs are. And if that is something that you feel comfortable with, that could easily be your niche. So think about who you want to serve, where your expertise lies, what you enjoy, where you're confident. You definitely, as a nutrition professional, have to be confident about the content that you're putting out there. So think about a niche that you're confident with, and then everything that you create has to be targeted at that niche and has to be specific. Number 5, serve, not sell. I already alluded to this already. Selling in content is direct marketing. There is a place for that, but it should represent a very small part of the content that you put out. So most of the content that you put out is valuable information. You just keep, and we talk about this all the time, value, value, value. Just keep pumping out the valuable content and it will attract your ideal client. It doesn't mean that you can't put a call to action, because in fact, you should have a call to action with every piece of content that you put out. For example, a call to action might be, provide your email address and I will send you the recipe. Or, download this handout by providing your email address. That's an exchange of value. So it's not, a sale where they're paying you, but it is certainly an exchange of value because we all know how important a solid email list is to your business. Because once they're on your email list, then you can take them on a journey through email sequences and newsletters, and you can invite them to special events. So number 5 is serve, not sell, but your ultimate objective is to attract people to you, right? You're not going to want to use a megaphone and say, I'm here, look at all the great stuff I have to offer, because that type of direct marketing doesn't really work these days. So serve, not sell with the content that you create. This is really applicable to the professionals that we serve. Your content has to rise above your competition. One of the easiest things to do actually is to create evidence-based content because there's so much garbage out there. So put yourself out there as an expert in the niche that you are serving and create evidence-based content that serves that niche. And you will break through all the garbage and you will rise above. So creating all of that content that you're creating has to be evidence-based, which means that it has to be based primarily on research that has been conducted within 10 years. And most of that research should come from primary, sometimes secondary sources, not Google University. All right, does anybody who's joining me now have any questions about content marketing? As nutrition professionals, registered dietitians, doctors of chiropractic, naturopaths, we're not trained in marketing, right? We're trained in evidence-based nutrition education or evidence-based medicine. So content marketing is a new concept to a lot of us. It's a steep learning curve, and it's something that you have to get comfortable with. But just get started with following these core principles, and you'll have a great foundation from which to build your, content marketing strategy. If you are a member of our community, of course, it's a whole lot easier because you have access to all of this evidence-based content done for you. Mostly what you'll need to do is infuse your brand into everything. The more that you can make it look like you and have your tone and your imagery, the better it's going to work for you in scaling your business. All right. Oh, hi, Mary. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So that is our conversation about content marketing. If you have any questions moving forward, please feel free to tag me and I can give you some resources that you can read. Really just fascinating to explore where marketing has been and where it is now. There's just so much competition out there that you really need to create a solid strategy in order to break through all of the noise. Maureen is asking a question. Do you have any material on the flow of marketing material? I found I need to create a foundation of, so that sounds like a strategy, Maureen, that you need a strategy for creating content. And yes, we are providing that within the Academy of how to build a strategy for creating content and delivering it consistently to your ideal client. So we are going to be providing that resource as an evergreen course in about 4 weeks for our members. So keep your eyes open for that. We are going to be covering this week in the Academy email marketing sequences, because that's part of the journey that you're going to be taking your clients on. So first you have to attract your client, right? You have to connect with them and capture them somewhere. Then you have to converse with them before you even think about a call to action to convert them to a sale. So there's a lot of work to be done. Phyllis is asking a question. How do we convince our ICA that our info is research-based? So Phyllis, you don't have to convince anybody of anything. I'd love for you to change your mindset about that a little bit. You're not trying to convince anybody. You want to attract people to you by providing evidence-based information. And you should say that the information is evidence-based. One of the best ways to do this, and some of the more successful RDs who have very active Instagram accounts are those who call out like myths and falsehoods. And some of them do it very directly with posts on Reels and Instagram, and they say, this is garbage. It's not true. They actually do very well, but those RDs are influencers, not so much RDs who are in private practice. So if you're in private practice and you're trying to attract your ideal customer avatar, just providing valuable information and being clear that it's evidence-based. So you definitely want to state your credentials, and you definitely want to use the word evidence-based and why it's important. But also, Phyllis, one great tool is to debunk common myths. That's a way to kind of break through the noise as well. Mary's asking a question. I didn't see references for ebook on the metabolic reset. Where do I find those? I have those for you. So the the metabolism, optimizing your metabolism ebook was drawn on from the lesson plan for metabolism. So Mary, I can provide you with those resources, but if you go into your library and you go to the lesson plan, because all the content that we build for any topic, including metabolism, starts with building out a lesson plan, which is based on research. And we provide you with all of those references. So we don't typically publish the references on every single piece of content, but you will find them with the core content in the lesson plan. I hope that that's helpful for you. Meggie is saying, will you be using current email marketing templates in Prime? Let's see here. I used them last night and they are great. Yes, Maggie, I am going to be, for the Academy, we are going to be selecting just some simple, it's probably going to be the welcome email sequence from the library. So we'll use that and modify it so that people who are in the Academy can do it on their own. But all of our members have access to several email sequences, from a welcome email sequence to a sales sequence. So, the welcome email sequence is when you first capture somebody and they come into your community, right? And you're nurturing them and you're conversing and developing a relationship with them. And then you create a product and you want to sell it. There's a sequence for that too. And it's not just about sending one email out saying, hey, I've got this great course, sign up now. It's really talking about the value and what's included in the course that will lead to that call to action ultimately, which is the sale. Maureen is asking a question. Is there one-stop shopping for photos that you have for? Yes, Canva. Canva Pro. If you don't have a Canva Pro account, I strongly recommend it. Just going to hide this right now. Yeah, let me just come up here for 1 second. Great. If you don't have a Canva Pro account, I strongly recommend that you get that. You have access to thousands of photos that you have rights to use. We use most of our photos for our handbooks and ebooks and slide decks come from Canva Pro. Our recipes are original photos. So we take all of those photos ourselves, and you have access to those as well. Maureen is saying, I have that account. You mean from your library? I'm not sure what you mean, Maureen, by that. So is there one-stop shopping for photos in your library? Oh, I see what you're saying, Maureen. No, we don't provide photos in our library because most of the photos that we use in the content are on Canva, and it's delivered to you within the template. So for example, if you are using the metabolism ebook, all of the photos that we use in that ebook, unless we are referencing one of our recipes, they will be from Canva Pro. So you'll easily be able to identify them as such. All right, let's move forward with talking about our EHR course templates. This is the conversation for the week because we are actively uploading all of the Living Plate RX Prime courses into 2 EHRs. So if you are a healthy user or you are a Practice Better user, you will have access to all of the Living Plate RX Prime courses, both our signature courses as well as the Chef's program, if you have a license to use that. They will all be preloaded into your EHR program. What does that mean? It means that the template itself, so the narrated slide deck, the cooking videos, all of the content that goes under the cooking videos, knowledge checks, goal setting, handouts, ebooks, all of that is already going to be in your EHR as a template. It will be white labeled, meaning that it won't have your brand on it. So remember what I said about, and it actually was in several of the core principles of content marketing, to infuse your brand, infuse your tone, your own imagery. You need to edit these templates. It is not intended for you to just simply press go and use the templated course. You could, of course, do that in your EHR, but it's not going to serve you as good as a fully branded set of content will. So for example, we are uploading chefs first because it is the most robust course that we have right now. And we're also uploading the metabolism course. You will see that in loaded if you sign up, and I'll give you the link inside of the Facebook group. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn or on YouTube, you just reach out to me at livingplaterx.com, and I will get you the information about getting these courses into your EHR. But the templates are going to be loaded on request. You say, yes, I want the courses. As long as you're a Prime member, they're going to be loaded into your EHR, and you will be able to copy the template and brand it for yourself. It's going to save you. I mean, for the chef's program, it's like 40, 50 hours for a signature course, which is 4 modules long. It could save you up to 20 or 30 hours. So we're saving you tons and tons of time by getting the template in there. And then all you have to do is look at that template and replace the pieces. So we're giving you all the bricks at the foundation. You just take out the brick and put in your branded piece. We are even going to be providing you with a link to the Canva template. So let's say you want to offer the course on optimal metabolism. You click on one of the handouts, you click the link, and it'll take you into Canva for that template. You do your magic to infuse your brand, your tone, your imagery, and you can edit the content too to your philosophy, and then you upload it back into the same place. So you take the brick out, you brand it, you put it back. And so it just saves you so much time. It's a true game changer for our community. Mary is saying that she uses Practice Better. So this is so great. Yes. So we are working with Practice Better and with Healthy right now. These courses are being loaded at no cost to you. We have hired String Marketing to get these course templates in for you. If you want them branded for you, so you want literally full service, String Marketing has a super affordable option to do that for you. So I will post that in our private Facebook group. We should be able to get the link in there today so that you can make a request for that. It's going to be first come, first serve if you want the courses branded for your practice as well. So you get the templates, but then you also have the opportunity to have them branded. Now, what if you don't use an EHR? What if you use something like a Kajabi or Thinkific? We can do that too. The beautiful thing is that most of these learning management systems, from EHRs to things like Kajabi, Thinkific, Teachable, Podia, they all follow a very similar course framework. And once you build out one course, building out multiple courses is really easy. You just have to plug in the relevant content. So we will be doing that for you as well. So if you are not a Practice Better or Healthy user and you use learning management software, we can support you there as well. And again, String Marketing, Stephanie Halfenke, has put together a very generous offer that will allow our community to have that done for them as well. So we're really overcoming a huge barrier that has been preventing a lot of our community members from launching courses, and that is building them inside their EHR or their learning management software. All right. So if you think that this is awesome, just give me a clapping hand emoji here in the Facebook group. Just drop it in comments, clapping hand emoji. So let me just answer some questions, some frequently asked questions that have been coming in since we've made this announcement. So who has access and what software you're working with? So I've covered the software already. EHR is Healthy and Practice Better. Other learning software is Kajabi, Teachable, probably Podia as well, and Thinkific. So Thinkific and Kajabi are really the preferred vehicles for delivering course content because they have all the bells and whistles necessary. Who has access? Living Plate RX Prime members have access. If you are a Prime member, a new Prime member, you have access to both chefs and to all of the other courses loaded into your EHR. If you have joined us at a special rate, in the past 4 years when we first opened up Prime membership, there's just an additional licensing fee for chefs only. So if you want chefs loaded, then you just need to prove that you have a license. And if you go into your Living Plate RX Prime library, and then you go to your white labeled chef's course, if you license the chef's course, you get a link that takes you to the white labeled version. there's information there with a code that you need to provide us with so that we can get this done for you. So yeah, lots of clapping hands. That's great. I'm so excited for you guys too. This is really going to be such a game changer. The other question that we get is how to access the course templates. You are going to be requesting, we're not just going to load them for everybody. So you are going to be requesting what courses you want loaded into your Practice Better or Healthy account through this form that I'm going to be providing to you. Again, probably going to start circulating that form today and throughout this week to make sure that everybody can see it. So if you see an email coming from me anytime this week, please open it or save it when you have time to read it. I recognize a lot of people are on vacation. We want to make sure that you can get these courses into your EHR, especially before September hits, right? That's really our big push here, because September for nutrition professionals is a really busy time. Everybody's coming back from vacation and they, want to start focusing on themselves and their health. And so we want to make sure that we get them in there for you by then. The next question that we're getting is what's included in the course templates. So the course template is all the content. You are also going to be receiving links to white label all of the content. So you're going to actually see the whole course and Practice Better, or Healthy, and you'll get to envision what it looks like. And then we're going to be providing you with the links for all of that content so that you can brand it. When it comes to the narrated slide decks, we are going to be providing you with a transcript so that you can record them yourself. You can, if you're not comfortable recording the slide decks, you can use the pre-recorded version, but it's my voice, right? So in terms of really infusing your brand and your tone and your imagery into everything, it would be better to have your brand on the slide decks, and it would be better to have your voice narrating the slide decks. So we have generated transcripts so that it's easy peasy for you. You'll get a link that takes you to the slides in Canva. You rebrand them, you edit them, you narrate them, which you can now do in Canva, download it, and reinsert it into the template. Does that make sense? Yeah, type in yes if we're making sense here. I know a lot of us are really excited, but I want to make sure that everybody understands exactly what's being loaded. So it is the template with everything that you need. You just need to brand it and make it your own. And then you can offer it to your clients. So how do you edit and brand it? You're going to be doing most of your editing and branding inside Canva, and that includes narrating and editing the slide decks. So everything can happen there. You will have access to the original lesson plan in your library if you ever want to refer to it. Or let's say that you wanted to edit the content inside the slide deck and you wanted to refer back to the evidence that we used. We provide the links to the research inside of the lesson plan. So you can always go back and take a look at it if you wanted to rework the slide deck so that it speaks, to your ideal client and your niche. Okay, next question that we're getting is the schedule for course uploads. As fast as I can. Is that a schedule? I don't know. We're trying to do it as quickly as we can. I mean, I'm doing it. I have 3 contractors who are also now being trained on doing it. The team from String Marketing, we're all working collectively to make sure that we can get all of these courses loaded for you. One of the things that's holding it up a little bit is the slide deck narration for some of the outstanding courses. I might initially upload them without the narration and just say coming soon, so that for those of you, for example, who wanted to use the prenatal course, that slide deck is not narrated yet, right? So, or the inflammation course, that slide deck is not narrated yet, and that takes time, and I need to do that. So we might just upload everything for you, but we'll be very clear, especially with those courses that have yet to be narrated, that it's kind of, coming soon. So then you can make the decision. But all of the other content is ready to go. We have plenty of cooking videos. So we're going to try and mix it up. Now, it's not likely that you'll have a client going through 3 different courses. A client might go through chefs and metabolism, or chefs and PCOS, or chefs and fertility, chefs and prenatal, because chefs is kind of foundational cooking skills and basic nutrition education. So that might be a frequent scenario that you see play out. but you're not going to have somebody sign up for, PCOS, low FODMAP, prenatal. I just don't see that happening. So we are going to duplicate some of the cooking videos as they are relevant to the content. So the cooking videos will speak to the overall principles of the nutrition lessons being taught. Phyllis is asking a question. Are these courses the same as having your own signature program? Yes. Are you talking about a signature meal plan, Phyllis? Because you can create signature meal plans for all of these courses inside of your meal planner. Or could we take the courses and edit them to our clients and our niche? Phyllis, I'm so glad that you asked that question, because that's exactly what you need to do. You will take this template and you will rebrand it. You will edit it, the content, and you will make it speak to your niche. Now, depending on what your niche is, might dictate, more editing be done or not. So you do need to take a look at the content to make sure that it aligns with the needs. Again, I think that was number 2, content marketing, that number 1, actually, that aligns with the needs of your ideal customer avatar. So knowing exactly who you're speaking to and what your niche is really important. And then you can make informed decisions. Number 1, on which courses I'm going to have uploaded to my account. And number 2, how I'm going to edit them. At the very, very least, you need to infuse your brand into every piece of material. All right, perfect, Phyllis. I'm glad that was clear. Stacy is asking, do you suggest programs for clients for a certain time frame, or will they always have access to it? That's really your preference, and you can experiment. You can start with offering a course that is only live for 3 months for that client. Sometimes when people have, forever access, there's less motivation to go through the course in a timely manner. So you might want to start with restricting, depending on how you're going to be offering the courses. All of the Living Plate RX Prime courses are broken up into 4 modules. So we have this complete slide deck that speaks to the lesson plan, and we break it up into 4 distinct lessons that give people an overall experience based on the topic. So again, we'll just refer back to metabolism. Each section talks about a different aspect of nutrition and as it relates to influencing metabolism. So you could do that as a 4-week course drip. One of my favorite formats is to have an 8-week course, and between each lesson, you offer, like in a private Facebook group, like we're doing now, like a live strategy session. Like that really could serve as a group counseling space. You could also do it in your EHR, of course, right? So Practice Better and Healthy both allow you to do group programming. So everybody can go through the lesson, and then you can, the next week, get together, see if they've met goals. If they haven't met goals, let's talk about it, and let's try and overcome those barriers together. That can help people move through the course with accountability in place. If you issue it and just kind of leave it open as evergreen, it's going to be harder to get people to stick to the program. Does that make sense, Stacy? So again, I love the kind of 8-week course model, but you can shorten it up if you'd like to. You can edit and narrate these slide decks to make it, 2 lessons and make it a 4-week course if you'd like. I will say this, Stacy, I really do like to offer access to the meal plans beyond course expiration. So if you're offering an 8-week course, so a 2-month course, I would include an extra month of meal planning, because number 1, it doesn't cost you anything. Number 2, it's added value for your clients. And number 3, it can help them continue to implement everything that they had learned in the past 4 or 8 weeks with you and apply it to what's on their plate at the end of the day, because that's what we're all about here, right? It's all about supporting clients with behavior changes so that what's on their plate at the end of the day will support them in getting the transformation that you're promising. Okay. Next question. This is our last frequently asked question. So if you have any other questions about the EHR or anything else, drop it here now and I'll answer that for you. Support with branding and LMS systems. So LMS is learning management system. So think Kajabi, Thinkific, Podia. We are going to be providing support, but it's going to be outside of Living Plate RX. So that's not going to be done for you. It will be done with you by the string marketing team. So again, she has this very affordable option in place where you can brand one course, or you can do like a bundle of 3, which is phenomenal. If there are 3 courses that you want to have them brand, they'll do it all for you. And that requires that you do an onboarding session with them. You give them all of your brand assets. You give them the definition of your ideal customer. So they're not going to do it blindly, right? It's going to be the branding is going to be a very well-informed process to make sure at the end of the day that your courses speak to the needs of your ideal customer avatar. Maureen is asking, with the medical treated diets, are practitioners operating with physician referrals or no? So Maureen, I think it's a mix of both, and it really depends what your credential is. If you are a licensed nutrition professional, so a registered dietitian or a CNS, you can issue nutrition prescriptions yourself. So if somebody comes to you with a diagnosis of, let's just pick one, IBS, you can prescribe a low FODMAP diet. If you are a health coach, you can't do that, right? That's not permitted. But if a licensed medical provider says, I have a patient who needs to follow a low FODMAP diet, then you can support that prescription. Is that what you were asking, Maureen? So, if you're looking to market with other disciplines, like interdisciplinary practice is amazing and should be done more. You shouldn't be flying solo most of the time. So I would find practitioners who work in different areas of medicine, but who align with your principles, right? So if you're a food as medicine health professional or nutrition professional, you're not going to want to work with a medicine as medicine medical professional, right? Because the people are going to be coming to you with, medications versus a nutrition prescription. You definitely want to find other professionals and create kind of like this interdisciplinary bubble of people who align with your practice philosophy. And, food as medicine is kind of a broad category, but it's a good differentiator. So if you find practitioners who are food as medicine and they need support with accountability for their clients and having clients follow nutrition prescriptions, there's a lot of that out there. It is a fabulous opportunity for you to step in and say, I can help your patients with that. I can help them through courses, through meal plans, through cooking videos. I can help them meet their health goals. So yes, Maureen, you definitely want to do that. Stacy has a question. Chefs, she was going to make it a 12-week and then roll it into a membership with access monthly. I think that's a great idea. Membership programs are really great for accountability. So you can do that within Practice Better, Healthy. You could also do memberships within your learning management systems as well, and really terrific for accountability and helping people meet their health goals. Maureen is saying, yes, just so many working with nutrition label, but don't have credentials. Yeah, so it really is just a matter, Maureen, of where you're positioning yourself and what services you're providing. If you are a licensed nutrition professional, you can issue that nutrition prescription. If you are not licensed, you can talk about healthy diet and healthy lifestyle, but a nutrition prescription really does need to come from a licensed healthcare professional. Now, chefs is very generalizable. That could be used as a standalone for a health coaching practice because it talks about general nutrition information and culinary support. So very appropriate for everybody to use. But the more prescriptive content should definitely be used appropriately. And most of the professionals and practitioners in our community understand that very well. Okay, so that is the end of our Q&A. Literally all of our frequently asked questions this week was surrounding the EHRs. So I hit almost all of the questions. If I missed some, I will go back and post in the Facebook group here so that you get your answers. For our Practice Better users, this Thursday, we are going to be doing a webinar with Practice Better. And we're actually going to take you inside of the software and show you what the course is going to look like. We can show you what the template looks like, and we can show you what the branded version looks like. We are also going to be doing that with our partners at Healthy. We just haven't scheduled that yet, so keep your eyes open for that. But Practice Better webinar is happening this Thursday. So if you have not signed up, I will drop the link here as soon as we're done, and you can go ahead and sign up. There will be a recording available. So if you can't make it on Thursday, I want to say It's at 2 o'clock, but I'm not 100% sure without looking at the post. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's at 2 o'clock on Thursday. So just keep your eyes open for that link and sign up if that is something that you want to learn about. All right. Does anybody else have any questions, or we're all good? Are we all good? Great. So remember the 6 principles of content marketing, because that's what we're doing here. You are a content marketer. Your content is evidence-based nutrition education materials, right? That's your content. So make sure that you're identifying the needs of your ICA, that you are consistent, that you infuse your brand essence into every single piece of content that you put out into the universe, that you are niche specific with your content, that you take a position of serving and not selling. The more you serve, the more you'll be able to scale your practice. So that means delivering high value, and also make sure that your content is evidence-based. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Shelly is saying, yes, it's at 2 p.m. Yes. Oh, Shelly, thank you for joining me today. So Shelly Myers works with Practice Better. She is also a food as medicine practitioner, and she is going to be joining me on that call on Thursday. So Shelly, if you have that link handy, could you drop it here for our viewers in the Facebook group? And for those of you joining me on YouTube and LinkedIn, I will also drop that there. Debbie is saying, if we were to purchase the branding from String, will it be completely unique, or will it just be adding fonts and colors to all? That's a conversation that you can have with String. They are very specific about what they're editing for you. So we can connect you with String, and then you can make that decision. They're very specific about where they're going to be plugging your brand in. They're not going to be, for example, Debbie, editing videos. They're not going to go into a video and change the text on the video, but they're going to be using thumbnails on your videos to put your brand in. They're also going to brand your slide decks, and all of the materials will have your logo and your colors on them. If you wanted to edit the content, you should do that before you send everything over to String, right? And you're basically going to be granting them access to your Canva account. So really important to organize your content into Canva for each course. Our students in the Nutrition Content Creation Academy were instructed on very specific folders to create for organizing their content. But once you start working with String, they're going to give you your to-do list, and they're going to tell you what you need to do, and what they need from you and how it needs to look. And then you can make a decision on if you want them to do that for you. Phyllis is saying, always excellent information. Oh, thanks, Phyllis. Good. I'm super happy to be here to serve my community. So Shelly, thank you for dropping that link. If you haven't registered for the Practice Better webinar yet, do it now. It is Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Recording will be available, but you do have to register if you want the recording. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Have a great week. And my Academy students, I will see you on Thursday. Take care.